Well, Georgia's not going to be playing this Saturday. This is something that we've talked about on here for some time. Not really shocking. It was going to be hard to put a game together for a lot of different reasons. Now, we don't know the specific reason or if there was a specific reason. And it's very disappointing, and I'm going to talk about that in this video and where Georgia goes from here. Dean Legge from Dog Post, making you a smarter Georgia fan. Let me read what Kirby had to say to folks like me tonight. He said, we're not going to be able to play a game this weekend. I think that's tough, but welcome to 2020. It's unfortunate our seniors who really wanted to play, for our seniors who really wanted to play, and those guys were excited to get one more game in Sanford Stadium. They wanted to finish off at home with their families, and I know that better than anyone else, but than anybody, how important that last game in Sanford Stadium is. It's a crushing blow not to be able to get that game in for them, but they understand it and they've moved on now. Well, Kirby's talking right there about his final game in Sanford Stadium, which was a pretty surprising loss to Georgia Tech. A game where I think if you gave him truth serum, he would tell you they felt like they got that game pulled away from them because of some non-calls with some fumbles. There were some real sketchy fumbling refereeing and officiating with Tech and Georgia at the turn of the century. So, Kirby remembers what it's like to not have your final game go the way that you want. But at minimum, Kirby got to go onto the field and get recognized, along with guys like Larry Brown. That was a solid group that had been through transition at Georgia, going from Ray Goff and the first year of Jim Donnan's time at Georgia, which was a losing record, to 10-2 and 9-3 season. So Kirby understands what it's like to have disappointment, but this is even different than that. And I think the thing about it is that those guys, they have earned a final home game, and they're not going to get it. And people are going to be really outraged, I guess, about that, and that's fine. But the truth of the matter is that you can be really mad about it. It's not going to change it. We're not going to be able to go back and do it again. And I think it shows just how special each weekend is when you're playing at home in college football. And all of those seniors will have one final chance to play in a football game wearing silver breeches. We don't know where that game will be. It's looking like it will be the Peach Bowl. Georgia is going to play in the New Year's Six bowl games now. We know that. They would have played those games anyway because of what was going on with who their opponent was. But they just couldn't get the game. And when you think about that, that it's not hard to believe that they couldn't pull it off. I mean, you start thinking about, could you play another SEC team? Doesn't look like it at this point. Could you play an ACC team? Well, Georgia Tech has got COVID problems right now, so I don't even know if they're practicing. And you're running into that a lot right now in college football. So people would say, well, why don't you just call Georgia Southern? Georgia Southern plays in a week, so they're not going to go to Athens and play a football game when they play in a bowl game in about 8 days or whatever it is. So it just didn't work. And, you can't ask, it is asking a lot to throw together a game in 6 days. And people will say, well, BYU and Coastal Carolina did it, in which I would say, that's right, they did. And there's two factors there. Number one, BYU ain't Georgia, and Coastal certainly ain't Georgia. So that's not going to happen. Georgia's not that desperate to play a football game. And secondly, ESPN basically made those two teams play. I mean, they would have never played had Liberty not, had COVID themselves the week of the Coastal game for them. So all things are not equal. Georgia's a power school, a top 5 program in the country, and, they're not just going to do things on a whim. They tried to make this happen. They couldn't figure it out. If this game were in September or October, it'd get played eventually. But we've seen now here, we're at the end of the season, the team that you're scheduled to play has fired their coach. Their athletic department is trying to look forward, not backward, and that's sort of the explanation that Vanderbilt's using. Well, they're saying they don't have enough, players that are healthy. And we've seen that be the case at places. I mean, look at Michigan. Michigan, I don't think even has 30 kids that can play. They certainly don't have 40. So is it reasonable to ask them to play? So you get to the point where you're deep into the week here. And, at 2, I think it was 2 o'clock. I can't remember what time it was exactly that we got word from Georgia that, look, there's not going to be a game this weekend. It's not going to happen. And I think the fact that Georgia's played 9 games out of 10, 90% they've gotten to play in a season where, some schools aren't even playing 6 regular season games. Georgia's season has been a success in terms of executing game day and all that stuff. So that's good. But the bowl game now, to me, is going to have to be a celebration of the seniors. Richard LeCount, Mark Webb, Nate McBride, Monty Rice. I don't need to read everyone's names, but those guys didn't get their final moment in Sanford Stadium that they had earned. But again, you don't always get everything you've earned in life, and that's just what it is. And it's a very good life lesson for these seniors, and just not just for seniors, but for Georgia players, Georgia's fans. You don't always get what you deserve, and this week that's what happened, is they did not get what they deserved. So they will try to play in a bowl game. There's no certainty that will happen. These bowl games are not going to get delayed, y'all. I mean, they're either going to play them and they get played, or they're not. I mean, there's going to be a lot of effort to play the New Year's Six bowl games, as certainly even more effort to play the playoff games. But if they get to the point where you're coming on top of a New Year's Six game, the orange, the Fiesta, the Cotton, or the Peach, and they can't play it, they're not going to play it. So that's something that's really important to remember moving forward here. This class has won a Rose Bowl, a Southeastern Conference Championship, a Sugar Bowl. They will have a chance at another New Year's Six Bowl. Winning 3 of those in 4 years of eligibility, that's quite an accomplishment. So they've got to win this last game, and we'll see if they can. Dean Legge from Dog Post, making you a smarter Georgia fan. Make sure you check out these highlights of Brock Vandagriff, who signed with Georgia today. It's an important look at the future of the Dogs. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the website.